kanalen. I dag skal vi ta opp nok et interessant tema, så jeg setter over til studio.
Yeah, hello, this is Rune Fardal. I stay here in Oslo, Drammensveien 60, outside Frogner Bodil administration for the childcare in this area of the city. And the people here are responsible for some of the worst persecution of families in Norway. Today I will talk about the Dubai case, where the parents are from Finland and Sweden, but have lived many years in Norway. It's a family with 2 children, 2 girls. One is today 19, the other is 11. The oldest live here in Oslo. The rest of the family had to escape for Dubai due to the people working in Barnevernet in this building in Oslo. This is a case that started like so many other cases with the mobbing at school against the oldest daughter. The school sent a worry message to the Barnevern, and then it escalated. Instead of taking responsibility for its own lack of stopping the mobbing, the school blamed the parents. The people who work inside here, the caseworkers in Barnevernet and their boss, had false memories of abuse planted in the oldest daughter. On that ground, the case escalated. The focus went from the school inability to stop mobbing to an innocent family. We have seen this pattern before. School blame parents for mobbing in school and the misuse of Barnevernet. In this Dubai case, the father was forced to move from the rest of the family by the people working in this building. The oldest daughter was taken by Barnevernet and brainwashed to tell about abuse from the father. Today she had admitted that never happened. She say the people in this house tricked her, planted false memory in her mind throughout intense questioning. Classically, she was cut off from all other people. The people working in this Barnevern don't care about this and has put the family on Interpol's list of wanted people because they escaped the terror from these people in Barnevern here in Oslo. The mother, father and the youngest daughter are now safe in Dubai. But thanks to the people in this Barnevern, in this building, and their leader Katja Violari, and caseworker Katrine Andreasen and Pia Teie, they cannot come back to Norway. The case is based on false claims, lies and perjury. The people mentioned working for Barnevernet here. Problem?
Nei, jeg bare lurer på hva som...
Jeg gjør et opptak. Du er midt i opptaket.
Ja. Ok, hvorfor tar du opptak akkurat her?
Fordi vi skal ha det på en TV-stasjon.
Okay.
Og fordi bydelsadministrasjonen ligger bak meg her, som jeg snakker om.
Ja. Ja, men det er greit, jeg bare lurer på...
Det er ikke noe skummelt.
Nei, jeg bare lurer på hva det var.
Ja. Hvis du ikke vil være med på kamera, så bare hold deg utenfor
Nei, jeg skal gå utenfor.
bildet. Ja.
Kjempegøy.
Greit. Yeah, that was a security guard from the building here asking what we are doing here. Anyway, we go on doing what we do. This case is based on false claims, lies and perjury. The people mentioned working for Barnevernet here have lied in court and given false testimony. There was no reason to take the children in the first place. Other documents from government show that these parents were perfectly capable of taking care of their own children. So it is the people working here in this building that is the cause for this family's hardship. The family is exposed to terror from these people. And these people in this Barnevern have only visited the family one time in 1 hour. That's all it took Katja Violari, who is the boss in this childcare, Katrine Andreasen and Pia Teie to destroy a happy family. The case is only based on stories that have been created in the talks between the older sisters, Barnevernets psychologist Magne Olav Gudmestad, and the staff here. The parents' psychologist, Tisthamar, testified in Fylkesnemnda, the county board, in January 2017, and he said, the biggest difficulty with, and then the name of the oldest daughter, there are some stories that are created together with her, that she does not correct. She loses, in a way, her own voice and her own influence on the conversations. And this, it is very astonishing. What is being said is not true. In the Barnevern document 87 from 21 November 2016, it is written about the older daughter. She had been acute placed for 2.5 months in a Barnevern institution and forced to regularly go to a Barnevern psychologist, Magne Olav Gudmestad. From the documents we can read, the girl starts the conversation by saying that she now begins to remember things that have happened when she lived at home, and that some of the things fall under the term of overgrep, abuse. After being manipulated by people working here and their psychologist Gudmestad, she suddenly remembered things in time and place that could never have happened. Research on memory is completely clear. Such memories are false. They are made up. There are objective proof that the stories could not have happened. This daughter was never in the places in the story created. The older daughter has now taken back all allegations against the father. She believed the allegations were true. She now exposes the frame in a letter she wrote. The people in this Barnevern has planted false memories in this girl in order to break the family. For the people in here, winning is more important than the best interest of the child. She writes in another letter that she did not even know the meaning of the word overgrep, abuse, that the employee in this Barnevern used when they brainwashed her. Remember, the oldest daughter come from Finland. She says in a letter that overgrep is a word she learned from Barnevernet, and she has been told by them to use this word. The responsible people in this building planted these memories in her mind. Now that she knows the meaning, she wants the word overgrep, abuse, removed from all the case documents, and she has written a letter to her lawyer, to Barnevernet, and she has written a letter with her lawyer to Barnevernet, requesting they must correct it in the documents. The people working here now don't care at all. It is very likely the psychologists working for Barnevernet have created false memory. And the Barnevern psychologists have been treating her for something she does not have. That is maltreatment. It is also documented that memories are displaced. Things that happen between the mother and her ex-husband has been said to happen between the oldest daughter and her husband today. And when the family escaped with the younger daughter to Dubai, the older daughter was told by these people in this building that the younger daughter...
Hei.
Problem?
Ja. Jeg jobber her, jeg filmer.
Ja, men det er helt greit.
Ja, det er greit, ja.
Jeg filmer også meg selv.
Ja.
Ja. Og du jobber for
her.
hvilken etat?
Jeg jobber i bydelen her.
I bydelen, hvilken etat?
Det er ikke noe som du holder på, det er ikke greit. Det er ikke greit å,
Er det ikke greit å stå ute i en offentlig plass?
Det er ikke greit å... Det er ikke greit.
Ok.
Det er ikke sånn man...
Nei, du kan bare fortsette å filme.
Jeg filmer deg.
Ja, fint.
Jeg tror det kommer noen andre også.
Ja, flott hvis de filmer. And when the family escaped with the younger daughter to Dubai, the older daughter was told by these people in this building that the younger daughter was dead. But I can assure you, I meet a very lively 11-year-old girl on my recent visit to the family in Dubai. The people in this Barnevern even told the older daughter that the mother, ex-husband, beat her. The older daughter 5 times a day throughout her 5 first years. But documents show that mother divorced her ex-husband when the oldest daughter was 8 months old. It is therefore well documented that Barnevernet here, represented by the people mentioned, just as we have seen they have done in several other cases. The judge in Fylkesnemnda, County Court and Tingretten, City Court, lied in their decision. Example, Judge Line Lunde in Fylkesnemnda writes that the family have said things they have not said. Recordings from the county board proves it. The county board actually makes up a narrative that suits the Barnevernet false story. The judges in Tingretten City Court wrote that the family were in the same room as their younger daughter when she spoke to Tingretten. They were not. Time and place are mixed up. Nothing of what the family witness and the family's psychologist Tisthamar said in the county board is mentioned in the decision. It's a biased decision. The court selectively picks what is good for Barnevernet, not for the family and children. And certainly not the truth. This is pure fraud. No positive statements from the older daughter are written in the county court board decision. The oldest daughter told Judge Line Lunde, regarding mom, she is a very good mom. She is a very caring and very interested in everything that concerned the older daughter's life. And she didn't experience any difference in how mom treated her and her little sister. It was exactly the same. And I can testify after meeting the family in Dubai, these parents are good parents. Norway has violated Article 8 of the human rights by banning the family to move from Norway before the county board had made a decision, and because of that put them on Interpol list of wanted people. Barnevernet illegally confiscated the passports of the children and mother without any legal right. Only police can withdraw passports. And the mother's passport was issued by the Finnish authorities. The older daughter has written to her mother that Barnevernet will close the case of the youngest daughter in January 2018. But the family has not heard a word about this from Barnevernet. Instead, the employee of this place stopped the older daughter from visiting her family in Dubai recently, threatening her that coming to Dubai was danger to her life. The family has proof of this. Barnevernet wants the family to remain separated and are worried that secrets about the fraud committed by them will come out if the older daughter starts talking. And if this was not enough, it is the same people in this Frogner Barnevernet that is behind the famous case of Silje Garmo, who escaped to Poland and recently received asylum there from the Norwegian government. actually she received asylum from the employees working here. So there is no doubt that the people working here in Frogner Barnevernet is responsible for the destruction and traumatization of several families and children. Barnevernet is obviously obstructing justice by not closing this case and removing the family from the Interpol list of wanted people. I recently traveled to Dubai and met with this family. And let's hear the interview with this family. You can make up your own mind about them. Yeah, then I want to welcome you here to a new episode in Family Channel. My name is Rune Fardal and I sit here with Marius Rekeros, and we are at the time located in Dubai, and we are visiting a family who had to run from the Norwegian childcare system, Barnevernet. And Marius, we have been here a couple of days. Mm-hmm. We know this family. We have seen how they have Christmas, how they live here. But they had to run away from Norway, the country who look at it as a human rights expert, sort of traveling around the world, telling everybody how to do human rights. But then here we sit in Dubai with a family who had to run away from that country. That gives some perspective on this.
Obviously, yes. I've had the privilege to meet with this family a few times before, so this is my third time to Dubai actually. In September this year we filed a complaint to the European Court of Human Rights. Once again, Norway was charged with serious crimes against humanity. And you see that families have to escape all around the world to protect their family values and to protect their families, and that raises, of course, a lot of serious questions with regard to how Norway is actually dealing with human rights. And you are well aware that Norway was recently convicted in the European Court only a few months ago. Norway had to meet in the Grand Chamber on October 17th this year. And now we are sitting in Dubai with another case that will reach the ECHR with some very serious questions regarding how Norway is actually complying with the European
And just recently Silje Garmo got asylum in Poland. Because of the Norwegian childcare system, or the people working there actually.
Yeah, I mean, she was granted asylum mainly because the European Parliament pushed forward in that case and said that Norway is not respecting human rights, and that's the most serious thing, that actually a lot of the members from the European Parliament is saying that. And we are now sitting with a family that is facing exactly the same Barnevernet that Silje Garmo faced, and that proves from the Barnevernet, and that once again proves that these child protective services, these local agencies around in Norway, they don't have any clue how to comply with even the basic standards. And of course, when even the most fundamental values of human rights are being violated, people see no other alternatives than to escape from Norway. And that's
but it is a paradox, because when you sit in Norway and hear about the Persian Gulf states, human rights isn't the thing that come on top of the list. You hear very bad things, but then now we have stayed here for some time, and you have been here third time. I feel when you go out in the street here, people are friendly.
Very friendly, absolutely.
And there is another, you know, I don't recognize this place from what I hear about the place.
No.
Okay, there can be probably something that have to be fixed here too, but I think Norway government should fix its own problem first, because there, as you said, there there are serious violations of human rights inside Norway.
Yes, and thanks to international media, more and more countries are being aware of the facts that Norway is violating human rights. I was recently in Tanzania, and even there they knew about the word Barnevernets. So that has become like really a word that the whole world knows about. So, of course, I think that the international attention will help a lot. Hopefully, this case, which is also a pilot case that has been brought to the European Court, will also be able to will also give necessary attention to all the other families who are striving with the same violations. So I'm very happy that this family is actually bringing on this case in a way that certainly will bring a lot of different aspects to different kind of violations. Like, for instance, the discriminatory aspect. This family has obviously been discriminated by the Norwegian courts. The way that the Child Protective Service system confiscated the passports without any legal control. I mean, there are so many things connected to this case that is obviously very interesting for the international community as well. So.
We can hear. We sit here with the family. There are 2 adults and 2 children in this family. Here in Dubai, 2 adults and 1 child is living, and 1 daughter who is now over 18 is still living in Norway. But maybe we can hear a little from your experience with the Norwegian government. So. How did this all start a couple of years ago? Well, when did the childcare come in, and how did your first contact with this system approach?
It all began with false accusations, which were directed towards us. It came as a complete shock. We were completely shocked at the way it came out of the blue. From the class teacher of our older daughter's school, where she went to in Oslo, called the Oslo Privat Gymnasium. And we had just recently moved to Oslo because our older daughter got a place in the Oslo Privat Gymnasium, videregående, and we thought that this was a very good school. So we had been living in another place in Norway, and for 10 years. And we left everything, our whole setup, just to bring her to Oslo and support her school going, because we thought that there's more options in a big city. And moving to the big city, we were all very blue-eyed. We'd been living in a very small cut-off place in Norway for 10 years. So moving to Oslo came as a shock because it was a completely different environment. And especially for our older daughter, who began in this very west side Oslo Privat Gymnasium school. West side meaning that it was it had no immigrants hardly in the school. Everybody was from the west side, not from the east side of Oslo, where there are a lot of immigrants. And we knew this before moving, and we thought that it would be good for our daughter, who has another ethnicity, because we are a mixed, multicultural family. And as a mother also, I have been facing the same things. I have been brought up as a multicultural family, and I have had the best of both worlds, East and West, and I wanted my daughter to have the same. So she should grow up with you know, this way. And she was the only immigrant in her class. And this began to give her serious problems in the school, where they were very snobbish, tight group environment of children who knew each other also before. They had planned to start the school together and so on. And she was like a newcomer. She didn't know anybody. She was not Norwegian. She was not in the group. And so on, and she began to face extremely serious mobbing, utestenging, utestenging, like not included in the group.
In the group,
And that led slowly over the time a very, very much problem in her, which we wanted to sort out until, you know, it come to this stage where she don't want to go to school. And the mobbing was, I would like to give examples of it because this is very serious. Mobbing is a very serious problem. So, and the other reason is because we have not had a chance to bring this up with the Barnevernet because they don't want to have any talks with the parents. They only come up with an accusation and then they don't do the investigation. They don't even give you a 5-minute talk. What are these accusations about? Where are they coming from? So on. So
was this worry? Did that come from the school to the Barnevernet, or?
Yes, from her class teacher.
So the school sent a worry to the Barnevernet, the child protection.
Her class
service.
teacher sent the warning, not the school, but the class teacher.
Did you see that worry afterwards? What did it? What was that about?
It was the entire thing, the entire document which came. We were actually laughing as we were reading it because it was complete lies, which were easy to prove. Even our ethnicity was a lie in it. I mean, even the smallest things. It was saying that relatives had visited us and had done some things to our daughter. From Iran, the relatives from Iran. We have no relatives in Iran. Nobody had visited us from Iran. You know, who have come and so I mean, who are relatives. Nothing in it was correct, and this was actually what is my point: is that it was a girl asking to be seen, and she wasn't getting attention in her school. And when she started to get attention. And she got a lot as she created more and more of these things. And then before you know it, it's, you know, exploded in a way that, you know, one lie leads to another and another and another. But the real reason for her being sad in the school was that I want to really bring this up because this is very serious about the mobbing, is that it's not only the children who were not good with her, but it was the teachers as well. So I want to bring a very important example. The samfunnsfag teacher in the Oslo Privat Gymnasium, she gave an example to the children in the school that if you were sitting in a bus and there was a white person and a dark person, brown-skinned person, which one of them would you think is a terrorist? She's asked the children in the class, and the children said, the dark person, we would assume, would be the terrorist. Everybody agreed, and my daughter, being the only dark-skinned person in the class, found it extremely humiliating, and she like really felt horrible about it. And everyone in class looked at her at the same time when this was said. She didn't go to school for a very long time because of this.
She felt stigmatized.
Yes, these kind of things were happening in the school.
So it was her reaction to this environment there that actually led to the worry from the class teacher to the childcare Barnevernet.
We told her that we need to address this mobbing with the school, but she refused because she has had racist problems in the previous place where we lived as well. So she saw from that experience that it became worse for her in the school when she complained about the situation. So she said she does not want her parents to complain to the school because it will be worse for her when she's in school because they start to treat her even worse. And that is the time that I went to speak to the health sister of the OPG. And I had a meeting with her. Barnevernet was not in the picture at this time. It was right before Barnevernet came in the picture. I had already gone to the health sister and talked to her about the mobbing in the school, about the drinking culture in the school, about the terrible things that the children are doing. They were filling perfume bottles in the school with alcohol and going to school parties. Children were inviting to their home, if you don't bring alcohol with you, don't come to my party. So she couldn't go, you know, because she doesn't drink. And so many other stories. This is just a nutshell. And then I went and explained all of this to the health sister, who just, you know, and I cried. I was so, like as a mother, you know,
Upset.
feeling I want to do something, I want to help.
Yeah.
And she said, we will take a meeting with the rector. He cancelled 3 meetings. One meeting he said he's invigilating a class which is having an exam, he can't come. Another time he said he's sick. Another time I don't remember what it was. The meeting never happened, it became summer, and the health sister sent me a message saying that we can, you know, just, sorry this didn't work out. I hope everything goes well. Next thing I know, there's a bekymringsmelding complaint from Barnevernet against us, from a class teacher.
The school sent a message to the childcare, the Barnevernet.
The teacher
that
did.
The teacher that they was worried
because
about
it's
your
the
daughter.
teacher who was not giving her attention in her class. When he noticed that she was never included in the group. She was never in group work. She was alone. Everybody was together. He never did anything, and she told me all these things. She sent me a message from school one day. I have it as an SMS on my phone. If I dug a hole in the ground now, this message came from school. If I dug a hole in the ground, no one here would notice that I have disappeared.
So she felt not seen by anybody.
So she made a situation where she got attention from the class teacher. Then he started to give her a lot of attention, and they start to have secret calls and messages together for some time with her telephone. Secret meetings outside school.
So the teacher
and then came the bekymringsmelding after that.
Okay, so the teacher met with your daughter
outside school
after school time.
Correct. Okay. And on one occasion, he met her for 8 hours outside school, but we were told that she was visiting a friend for lunch. She was going to go out to Grönland with a friend for lunch. When it was, because I called my daughter after some hours, and she didn't pick the phone. So I called up the friend who she was supposed to go with, and the friend said she's in Norge, in north of Norway. And that's when I got afraid. And she came back after 8 hours to the home with the Barnevernet. And this is, you see, part of the... And I have spoken to people, and from what I understand, it's illegal for a teacher to go with an underage child secretly without a parent's knowledge and have communication of this type. I'm outraged about this, and nobody has reacted in Norway about it. Not the police, not the child authorities. That an underage child is meeting up with a man who has a child, a family, outside school without the parents' knowledge, who is not communicating with the parents about their child. If there is something, we should all have sat together, right? And talked about this, the teacher's responsibility.
Is that the setting that stay when the teacher report this to childcare, and then the childcare come in when the setting is like that? What was your first meeting with the childcare there? Did they call you into a meeting?
They called us to a meeting on about these lies which were in the which were complete. Every sentence was a lie. And I sent corrections. By the way, when you send corrections to Barnevernet, those corrections never follow with the case. They never correct the documents. So they continue the case based on those lies which initially came in, and they are never corrected.
They don't listen to you, right?
They don't correct things either. They say that you can correct something if there's not something correct, but you send the letter of corrections, but they never put it even forward with the rest of the case as it goes, you know, forward.
But what happened then? You have a meeting with childcare and try to explain to them. What did they start some investigation, or what did they do? Because this is Frogner Barnevernet.
This is Frogner Barnevernet. We met up with I met up. They did not meet up with my husband. They met up with me initially. It was just, I explained everything to them. I explained, you know, the issues and about her past, about I have been married before, so you know, her biological father is not my husband, current husband, and I explained and we talked and so on. But one thing after the other, one accusation after the other led to the case where it is today.
Yeah. So, but can we hear a little about what did the childcare in Norway do actually? Did they talk to your daughter, or did they take her from your family, or what happened after you talked to the childcare?
Well, when the bekymringsmelding came, I had a normal talk with them about it, and everything was kind of okay, you know. But what happened was that my daughter did not want us to tell about the school mobbing, because she was threatening us at home. If you talk about the mobbing, I won't go to school ever again, and all of these things,
she
because
was
it would become worse.
That if the school or the other students or teacher knew about this, it will be worse for her.
Worse for her, correct. So what happened is that she didn't go to school because of the things that I explained were happening in school. And at the same time, she didn't want us to tell about the mobbing to the school. So we were in a no-win situation at home, where we want to help, we cannot, because we respected her, you know, what she that she don't want us to complain. And at the same time, we're seeing a child that's suffering, and we're seeing a school that is breaking laws because they are not giving a good school environment to our child. So she didn't go to school, and that led to her having days off. This led to me taking her to a doctor who would write a letter for her days off, because it was a strict system that if you have days off, you have to inform the school, right, with the documentation. So when we went to the doctor, he had a talk with her alone, and she told him, I heard from her later after, because she was alone with him in the room. She told me later when we came out that he was asking questions like about sexual abuse and about very serious things. Have you the questionnaire which he had, a whole long questionnaire with many things, mobbing, and I don't remember what the questions were, but apparently she had nodded to a question on it, which led to him sending a bekymringsmelding also to Barnevern. And she also informed him that she has a case with Barnevern going on. So he knew when she went there that there was a case going on with her, which made him to ask these other questions, because she naively just said to him that we have a Barnevern case going on. You know,
so the case actually escalated after meeting
by
with the
him
doctor.
telling her that I'm coming here for a days off from school, and then he made it into, he thought that okay, I'll just, you know, also like write another bekymringsmelding since they have one already, and that kind of thing, because she told him, and also before the Barnevern came in. Right before, not only had I spoken to the health sister, but I had also been to Sonan School, Christelig Gymnasium, and she had been to Cathedral School with her best friend to try to change schools. And her best friend changed the school because she hated the environment. And when her best friend left, she had no one. So all of these factors, can you imagine? They just left her like completely, you know.
So the problem with childcare actually started in school.
Yes.
And the environment in that school.
Exactly.
And then it escalated with the question from doctor, question from childcare. If you can move a little on, what are the childcare actually doing in this situation where you stay there, when the doctor send a worry to the childcare too? What happened there?
They removed the children.
From school or?
From home.
From home. So both of them?
Luckily, our younger daughter was spending the night at her best friend's house, and the older daughter, we were reported to the police. The Barnevern reported our family to the police based on what the doctor wrote. Just out of the blue, we were taken to the police station on a weekend. having a nice weekend at home. Me and my older daughter alone, we were at home watching a TV. My husband was at work as usual. He comes home very late at about 7 or 8 in the evening every day. And my younger daughter was at a friend's house overnighting. The police, about 6 of them, came to the house. All over the building, everywhere. It was so scary. I mean, I can't tell you that image.
That was the police and childcare workers coming?
Only police.
Only police. Okay.
About 6 of them, and they were banging on the door. They were like knocking it down. They were like, it was horrible. Came in, like barged into our home. I was just like lounging, you know, in my own home, like watching TV in my privacy, like, and these guys just come in, like.
Did they say what they were after, or
no?
Did they just?
They asked where all the members of the family were, and that everybody has to come with them. They didn't give any reason at all. They didn't say one single word.
Did you go with them to the police station?
We had no choice. There were like 6 big guys, and the way they come, you know, I mean, in Norway, you've seen the videos of.
They have uniforms.
These ones, they didn't have uniforms, no, but they were all over the place, and many cars as well, if I remember.
So you had to drive with the police cars to the police station?
They were not regular police cars. They were like, you know, this kind
civilians,
of
sort of.
And
anyway, you ended up in the police station.
We ended up in the police station where they separated me and my daughter, and she had a temperature that day, I remember. She was lying on the couch because of a high fever, which she had a cold, and you know. And I also worried for her because of this situation. Then they took her for questioning, and I never saw her again till today. I haven't seen my daughter.
So she was removed by the childcare system, taken into sort of custody.
And these allegations, which she was taken and they interrogated her, she denied everything in that meeting with the police, that this is all a misunderstanding, this is wrong, it's not true. They still didn't let her come home. I want to go home, she said. 2 policemen, big men, she was kicking them that I don't want to go with you. She kicked them, it's in the documents. I don't want to go with you, I want to go home to my family. And 2 policemen physically, with force, forced her into the police car. It's written in the documents, and took her away. And she was like 16 at that time. That's illegal at her age to force a 16-year-old into a car against her will when she had no reason to go with them.
So she was removed to some foster family or institution? Or where did they...
to some institution, I believe, yes.
Because that was the childcare standing behind this removal.
The childcare has made the police report and sent it forward. It's all the childcare involved in it.
Can you say something about what kind of allegation? Was this violence or sexual abuse, or didn't you give her food, or what was the allegation?
The allegation was that the doctor had asked my daughter a list of questions, which is a regular if they are worried about something. And they asked her a number of questions, and one of them was sexual abuse. And apparently it's written in the documents that she nodded, like she did her head like this. Put her head down, and that was what made him to send the message. Plus, that she had told him that we have already a case with the Barnevernet.
So suddenly, out of the blue,
the nodding of her head to his question. She didn't even answer with a voice.
Sound,
it's written that she nodded to his question, and that has brought about all of this.
So the doctor's understanding of her actually escalated this even more.
And he sent it to Barnevan, and Barnevan sent it to the police. And here we are today in this.
After she was removed to the childcare by the police, what did the childcare do? Did they come to talk to you about what they think happened, or what was the setting that went on from there?
The Barnevernet has never talked to us about the false accusations. They have done nothing. they have only listened to like what the child is saying, they say.
Yeah.
But we don't know what the truth is because they haven't allowed any contact with our child.
No.
They have allowed no telecommunication since she was taken from the police station. No telephone call, no meetings, nothing. 2.5 years I have had nothing with my child.
So from she was taken, that was in 2016, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Until today, you actually have almost no contact with her.
No. Until now, recently she took contact with me herself when she get older, and she was able to because they didn't allow her.
So they block.
Yes.
When you talk to her now, she told you that she will block from all contact with you.
No, it's written in the documents that we don't allow any contact.
Okay.
We don't allow any contact with her and the parents.
Yeah.
The Barnevernet don't allow.
But did she say where they put her these 2 years?
They have been moving her from Borgevit to another place. She tried a foster family. She didn't like it. She came back there. She's been mainly in Borgevit. And from what I've understood over the time, they have been, now that the case is coming out, they have been using words which she doesn't even understand. The word overgrep, she doesn't understand what it is. And Barnevernet is using this word and has told her, this is the word you have to use. And now today, as this case stands, she's saying that all this is the words that they have given me and they have said. I've shown you the document. There is another document as well which you should read, which is written by my older daughter, that it is their word. I never knew what it meant, and now that I know what it means, I want that word removed from everywhere in the case.
So your daughter, oldest daughter, told you that she was told
that this is this is the word that is to be used.
Overgrep, that means abuse. In English, and the child care told her that she was exposed to abuse. And she herself today denies all of this.
And also the stories which have been coming, which she have been saying, I don't know where they're coming from, which they're writing that are coming from her. Because it's interesting, as we have had no contact with her. Because an example in the court, Bodil Tisthamar, the psychologist in the court, said that lies are being created between the older daughter and Barnevernet. And she does not correct them. This she said in the court, the psychologist. So all the stories which have been said that they are saying, my daughter is saying, it's interesting because I have never ever seen this kind of thing in our home, nor have my husband, this is not from our home. And then when she says this, the psychologist, that lies are being created by the staff and the older daughter, and she doesn't correct, it means that they are falsifying the documents.
So what I understand, the psychologist tells that Barnevernet is forcing a sort of truth, or so to say, changing the memory of the child, because they want that to be the story, but there is no evidence of anything.
The police case is closed.
So there is no police case, there is no investigation, but the child care going
and we have no criminal record ever in anywhere in the world or for anything, nor has ever anyone seen anything or had any problem with us, or we, on the contrary, we have always helped everyone, we have always been there for everyone. We've had a very, very good relationship with everybody, neighbors and friends and teachers and children's friends, and open house, just come in, go out, doors open. So it's
in that setting in 2016, when child care is removing your older daughter and probably talking to her a lot, and what happened to you, your husband, and the younger daughter? What are you doing at that moment? Because at some time you find out we have to leave Norway.
So they removed the older daughter, and they took my husband into custody for one night. They cleared him, let him come back home. As he was leaving the police station, Barnevernet was standing at the police station. Police said he can go. They have nothing with him, but they were going to continue investigating the case, which is today closed. As he was leaving the police station, a person from Barnevern was standing there,
outside,
a vakt, a vakt, Barnevern vakt, and told my husband, threatened my husband, saying to him, if you return home tonight from here, we will come back and take your younger daughter who is at home. Because she had been overnighting, remember? So they still left her because of this situation, yet that day that they hadn't come. So he came home, packed a bag, and he never returned home. He lived outside home till we left for Dubai in another address because they didn't allow him. They said, they threatened, we will take... Yet he went to work, he's meeting other people and working and, being allowed from the police to work. But the Barnevern is saying that we will remove your child if you go home.
If we can hear from your husband, how did you experience the setting that was happening there, that some childcare worker sort of pushed you out of the house?
Well, it was a nightmare. It was sort of a Kafkaesque. Didn't see this coming at all. Completely shocking and obnoxious. It was like a nightmare that you never woke up from. And especially when they told me when I went out of there that if you go home now, we will consider taking your younger daughter as well. That was really heartbreaking.
And then did you move to some hotel, or how long did you stay out before you find out to move from Norway?
I was not allowed to live in my home ever since they took our older daughter in September 2016, and I wasn't allowed to come home until we moved to Dubai. So
how long time was that?
That was from September 2016 till late January 2017.
So 3-4 months. You had to stay out because of
no,
accusation?
More than about 6 months. About 6 months.
But then at some time you find out this is intolerable. And what was it that made you suddenly find out, okay, we move? Was there something triggering? Did they try to take your younger daughter, or what was going on?
Firstly, I'd just like to say that there's never been any reason for them to take our children.
No,
never.
No.
That is clear, and there is no reason for any of our children to have been taken out. We love our children, and we have given them the best in the life, and the problem is not from our home at all.
I can mention that I see a letter from your older daughter who's writing that all this is a lie. And
all the accusations have been taken back, and Barnevern is aware of it, police are aware of it. It has been also sent by her to the Fylkesnemnda and the court and so on. But with Barnevernet in Norway, they don't follow justice or laws. They don't follow human rights. They don't care about a person's integrity or a person's, to care about humans, They treat you like you are a rubbish,
If I can add, because now we know that the same caseworkers in Frogner Barnevernet
really
is
shocking.
Also the same caseworkers in the Silje Garmo case.
Shocking.
Who got asylum.
But not surprising, not surprising to me whatsoever, because I have never met more incompetent, horrible persons in my life who are not concerned about the best interest of the child. It's like they are concerned about some kind of, harassing, using the power, enjoying to see people suffer, not liking that we were living in Frogner, which is a very, upscale, up part of the Oslo, and being an immigrant living in this area with a lot of rich Norwegians and so on, it's come like, I feel, a very racist way from the beginning, the way that they have been, treating us. Yes,
that you feel
for
racist
sure.
about.
For sure. And no empathy whatsoever in any of the persons. And I don't see anything that they have done that has been in the best interest of the child. Because, for example, the Katrine Andresen, who is the saksbehandler, the woman, Katrine Andresen, who is the saksbehandler in the from the Frogner Barnevernet in our case, she came for only 1 hour home visit to our house. That's the only thing that has been done in the entire investigation by Barnevernet. No other thing has been done.
So the only observation, or actually the only time the child care have seen you is 1 hour in all this story?
Yes, in our home 1 hour. And they have written, Katrine Andresen wrote a report about that visit of 1 hour. 49 days after she had been for the home visit, and she falsified the documents by writing complete lies about that visit. Can you imagine? This has caused a case where we have had to flee from Norway.
Because I see the way that your case is moving is very similar to Silje Garmo case, where nothing suddenly end up in serious claims and police cancel everything, but the caseworker in the childcare keep on going. It look like tunnel vision.
Yes,
sort of.
And I'd like to mention as well that in that visit in 1 hour, we were eating a lasagna which I had prepared, and we were all having a jolly good time, which I recorded, by the way, the entire home visit, because I didn't trust them at all. Since they removed my child, my older child, this way as well, so I didn't anymore, trust these people at all. And in that during the time that we were eating, she wanted to have a talk with my younger daughter about, because they want to start an investigation on her as well. Obviously, they never give up. So she said very clearly, and I have the recording, that that my younger daughter would meet them at the Frogner Barnevernet station office, and mother can follow with, mama can follow med, she said. But did that happen? No. They landed up unexpectedly at her school, pulled her out of her class, and gave her a shock. When I picked her up, she was crying.
When they told you that they were going to meet with your daughter, was that in that 1 hour meeting that you had?
Yes.
So your daughter heard that too?
So she lied to my daughter, and my daughter was crying in school when I picked her up. She said that they came to the school, Mommy, they promised that I can speak to them in the office, and I told them I don't want, because she don't want her friends and everyone to, it's not a nice...
So this caseworker actually told you and your daughter that they will have the meeting in their office, while they actually came to the school and took her out of the class and stigmatized her again. Sort of.
And they didn't do it once, they did it 2 or 3 times. And then she...
At the school?
Yes.
Come there,
And then my daughter didn't want to go to school, and I was having this problem at home. She loves school, she's never been even off school. She has her friends, she's such a happy-go-lucky child. And a girl who loves school, she said herself, Mommy, I used to love school, now I hate school.
So
and they came again, and then again.
So the
unexpectedly.
The Barnevernets work actually made your daughter have aversion to the school. She connect the school with something negative and suddenly doesn't want to go to school.
Well, she was afraid if they come again, and she kept feeling in the classroom not comfortable, that when will the door open and they pull her out again, and everybody's asking, all her friends were asking, why are you being pulled out, who are you meeting, why do you have to go out, what's happening? So she was gone like an hour or
the child care is actually traumatizing her.
Yes.
In school.
Yes.
For no reason.
Correct.
Because they didn't have any. Was there any worries about your younger daughter? Any bekymringsmessage?
There have never been any worries about my younger daughter anywhere. Never.
So childcare is just
from anywhere.
escalating the case,
Yes.
bringing in the younger daughter in the picture too.
Yes, because it was their plan from the beginning that they want to remove her. That was their plan. But she happened not to be home when the police came.
Okay.
But from the beginning, because when we had a meeting that they had removed our older daughter, just that they informed that she won't be coming home. I said, "Oh, are you planning to also remove our younger daughter?" So Pia Taye, who was in the meeting, another caseworker, said, "Not now."
Not now. Yeah.
And I told my husband, that is a scary answer. She's saying, "Not now." Are they planning to remove in some way? You know that they're leading to this?
It's hanging in the air. It's
not now.
We're not going to move her.
It come, you know,
now.
as a very scary answer to me, not now. She should have either said, "Let's see," or, you know, "There's no plan, not now." What does this mean?
Was that the time when you understood you can't live in Norway anymore?
No. We have never done anything to be afraid of.
No.
Nothing. No. We trusted the system. We said, "Look, let them investigate. Let them do everything what they need to do." If we had something to be afraid of, we would have left already that time. I had the younger daughter home. I could have left. We never did. But what happened was, this is very interesting, another breaking of human rights in Norway. Scandal, shock, me being a Finnish person, I know my rights. I'm from Finland. My daughters both have Finnish passports, and so do I. One day, after my older daughter's case was running about her acute placering, and Maria Edakina, who is also the same woman who has been involved in Silja Garmo's case, called me up on my phone and said, "I want you to bring me and your daughter's passports immediately to Frogner Barnevernet station."
But they have no authority in taking any passports.
I was walking on the road near Soliplas, I remember, passing Frogner Barnevernet almost, picking my daughter from the school, when she called. I remember that day so well, and I had a shock. I said, "I am on the way picking my daughter from school. I cannot do that. Sorry, can we talk again?" And I was saying that, "But why? Well, she don't have a court order, she don't have a police order. How can somebody, like, I know my rights." She said, "We want them immediately. Just do it." So I closed the phone. I called my lawyer. I told my lawyer the story. My lawyer told me immediately that you have to give your passports to the Barnevernet, otherwise they will take your younger daughter for sure. You have no choice. So I picked my daughter up, and also, like, when you don't have anything to fear, you know, you just do it. Like I said to the caseworker,
but you then brought the passport to the child.
I brought it immediately, and I said to her, "If this make you happy and it make you feeling better while you're dealing with the case, please take my passports. It's okay, no problem." But I could have actually technically left the country if I had something to fear, because I'm giving my passports, right? So this is another proof that that how they are doing, you know, with people, because this is restricting my freedom of movement and my children. And after they got the passports in their hand, they really became nasty and evil, because then they knew that I'm crippled. I have no more legs to run. I cannot do anything.
You can't get away.
You know? So then the game became even nastier, and they treat us even worse. They never even took, a call. We tried to have a meeting with them and let's talk about these accusations. We want to tell you our side of the story, and nothing. They never wanted to talk.
Were they interested in listening to your side?
Never, ever. No. Never. They never have listened to us. They have promised to give us a meeting, but they never did. They never did.
But sorry to interrupt here, but I'm very interested in that passport story, because obviously confiscating a passport is interference with your privacy life.
Exactly.
That can only be done by so-called tribunals, and of
Yes.
course Barnevern is not a tribunal. So when you say that your lawyer at that time recommended you, or more or less ordered you to turn in your passports, I am deeply shocked when he says so. But I mean, what about your own intentions? You said you know your rights, and obviously by surrendering your freedom of movement in a way that is obviously not legal for Barnevernet to do.
Yes.
I mean, what kind of reaction was that bringing to your mind? I mean, it's
the reaction, what I feel today is that if they had never taken my passport illegally, I wouldn't be in this situation today, because they took the passports illegally and then they take the custody of the child illegally as well, in a court system which is completely like not functioning.
Did they go after your younger daughter in any
Yes, they wanted to remove her custody permanently without doing an investigation and without any proof, without any talks with us, without anything. They just feel in Norway that it's the easy way is just to remove the children and next case. We don't take a chance. It's easy. We don't need to do an investigation. Just remove the children.
How many times you appear in fylkesnemnd, in court? How many cases was there? You obviously started in fylkesnemnd with your older daughter.
Yeah.
And that went on to tingret, or how did that follow up?
Yes, we went to fylkesnemnda with our older daughter, and then this Katrine Andresen, the saksbehandler in Frogner Barnevernet, who was in Silja Garmo's case as well, she landed up in my daughter's school, the younger daughter's school, one day while the investigation was going on after her 1-hour visit to our house. She landed up one day, surprisingly, without any knowledge to anyone. If I remember correctly, it was a Tuesday, and it was my daughter was preparing for the school Christmas dance, which she was going to perform for the Christmas party. So she was a little later in school. I came to the school and I didn't find my daughter's jacket there. I didn't find my daughter's school bag. Katrine Andresen had been there and taken her home, which I later found out it was her, Katrine Andresen.
So she come there
and her acutely from the school. Yes.
Yeah. Was there any worry report in front of that removal, or
sorry?
Any bekymringsmelding, worry that she based that removal on, or did you just come there and removed her from the school?
At the time when she removed the child, nobody knew anything. We haven't received anything. No
worry from school about her too.
But they were doing the investigation from the 1-hour visit that they had been, which is the only thing they've done in the entire case.
But when they removed her, then how long did they keep her? Because she obviously come back.
They took her to a secret location. They did not allow any contact between us and her either, like with the older daughter, for 1 month.
For 1 month?
For 1 month, in which time there was a talsperson, a person who came to speak to my daughter, and many other things, and we went to fylkesnemnda court again, not court but city council again. And we won her back, and my daughter also was taken to the police for a very long interrogation where she gave her side of the story. And we won her back home with the judge Elin Folkmar, who's the leader of fylkesnemnda, and she wrote a very, very good report saying that this is a very good home for the child. She doesn't see any reason for the child to be
was
taken.
that the decision from the county board?
Yes, from Elin Folkmar, the fylkesnemnda leader.
They didn't find anything to worry about.
And that this is a big misunderstanding with the religion talk and about things which, they were also, of course, being racist and talk about our religion and ethnicity and so many things which are brought in this case, which is a complete racism. And then we ended up going again to fylkesnemnda because we won the child home. And instead of coming to see the child after the child came home again, Barnevern didn't come once to see her. How is she doing after
Nothing.
coming back home?
They didn't follow up.
No, even though they live 5 minutes walk from my house, our house, and then they were busy instead sending the case again to Fylkesnemnda for permanent removal of the child.
Okay, so they escalated the case, not just try to take her and then lose, but then start again to take permanent removal.
Yes, without even coming to check on the child after she's been, returned home. Like, where is the best interest of the child? If you are so worried about the child, genuinely, don't you think that a caseworker is going to take a 5-minute walk from Frogner Barnevernet to our house in Frogner to check on the child that you are so worried about that you want to remove permanently forever from the family? Hello.
But okay, you come then, or they wanted to bring this into county board again.
Yes. And then when it went to county board again, Norwegian judicial system has so many flaws. You have a judge who brought the child home, and the next judge who was saying no, we take the removal forever.
So you win the first?
Yes.
And the next county board a month later or something, you lost?
Completely opposite of the decision of the first one, without an investigation from Barnevernet in the middle.
At that time they wanted to take over custody of the youngest daughter.
Yes.
Yeah. What happened then? After you get that decision, you appealed to Tingret, the court system?
Yes.
And lost there too?
But I would like to mention that we were not in Norway when the decision came from the Fylkesnemnda.
Okay.
Because we knew that they would take the custody. Yeah. We knew that we can't lose her again because they are doing things which are so illegal.
Is that the time when you find out we have to move?
Yes, because we saw the way that they are removing passports without following human rights, without following rights of citizens. They are taking the child acutely from school, not following rights or human rights or any proper way to do things. They are sending the case. They are not genuinely interested in best interest of the child. Yeah. When I noticed this, that they don't really care about the child, this is a war between them and us, that they just want to win. They just want to take the children. They want to steal our child. Then when we went to the Fylkesnemnda, we still thought together, we discussed. Of course, my husband was not living at home because Barnevern doesn't allow him to live at home. We discussed that let's see what kind of intuition we get from the judge, because the other judge allowed the child to be home, that there's always hope, we must give this a chance. We cannot just, and we have our older daughter in Norway and all, everything we built is there, we've lived there and so on.
But you said that in the running up to the second county board, you was not in Norway. In that time, did you get your passport back after the first county board, or how did you?
No, they never returned any of our passports.
How did you go to another country?
I just wanted to mention just shortly that when we came to the Fylkesnemnda, so we wanted to give a chance about that maybe there's a chance that there will be again some justice, that we shouldn't leave like this, it's not the right thing to do. And Norway is the only country in the world that we know where you have a law saying that you cannot leave the country when Barnevernet sends the complaint to Fylkesnemnda. Then you're not allowed to leave the country. This is like crazy. So when we came there, we realized the judge was Line Lunde, and she made the entire case was based on racism and discrimination. The way she interrogated us, the way she treated us, the questions she had were based on racism and discrimination. We realized that she is trying, because there's no other proof or any reason to remove a child, she's trying to make a reason to take the child. Because Elin Folkmar, the other leader, had said that there's no reason to take the child, and the child came home. So she was trying to make racism and our ethnicity and religion a reason to remove our child forever. And that happened in the end, and this made us leave.
Did you sit in that county board, or was it only, so you sit there on the
we were interrogated by Elin, by Line Lunde.
And then you feel that this is not going the right way.
Not feel. It was clear and direct. All her questions were only based on where we come from, our ethnicity, our religion, things which had no relevance to the case whatsoever. It's none of her business what my religion is, what my ethnicity is.
No, of course
I
not.
could be coming from any country in the world. I'm a
She
human
tried to
being.
make up something
Yes.
that she could base her decision
But
on.
she was not happy that our child is not according to Norwegian standards. It's written in the verdict, which we received in Dubai. So luckily, good for us that we were able to make a correct decision to leave Norway without allowing our child to be kidnapped by
did you
Norway
get-
again.
Did you get your passport back?
We never
sometime?
got our passports back. I flew to Helsinki
I make new
and I
passport.
made a new passport.
Okay.
And
And at that time, we are in 2016.
I took a chance. I didn't know.
Beginning of 2017.
I didn't know if I will make it,
beginning of
but
2017.
But I just want to correct you a little bit, because
Yes.
when you say that the first county board leader, what was her name?
Line Lunde, no, Elin Folkmar.
Elin Folkmar.
Yeah.
She gave the custody. That is, you have to be a little bit more precise here, I think, because what she actually did was to say that the acute decision or the emergency decision,
Yes,
there was no reason
we
for
had
that one.
custody.
But in a way, she was allowing the other member of the board, Line Lunde, to say that it was justified to take the permanent care order, to take the child into foster home on a permanent basis.
Yeah.
So you have to distinguish between the emergency decision, which is to be the board has
That was the first
according to
board
the
meeting.
law. According to the law, the board has to make a decision upon that within a very short amount of time after the Barnevernet has taken the acute, the emergency decision themselves. So obviously, these two members of the board, Lunde and Lundmark, could easily have been discussing this case with regard to the permanent decision. So that's very important to be precise about that.
So
That's correct.
So
But
you have to
anyway,
distinguish between the emergency and the permanent.
Yes, I'm sorry that because I
After
meant
the
the
last
acute
one.
decision. Elin Folkmar, she allowed her to come back home after the acute placering, and Line Lunde wanted to permanently remove.
So what the first board leader is saying is that even though there is no basis for the emergency decision, there might be a reason for the next decision to allow the Frogner Barnevernet to take custody of the child.
anyway, at the last county board meeting, you find out that this is not a place to stay.
No, we didn't receive.
You got new passports.
No, we didn't receive the decision.
No, but you
in
get an
Norway,
intuition.
but
you get a
we
feeling
were
that-
sure that they were, because the way that they interrogated us in the court, they started with the saksbehandlingsfeil by Line Lunde asking my older daughter, who was also part of the in the case, because both the children were one case. She was talked to in another room without allowing our lawyers even to be present. And that is a saksbehandlingsfeil, because it has to be. And then Line Lunde the judge went into that room to talk to my older daughter. Our lawyers were not allowed to be present, and you know, this kind of things were doing which were not fair fair proceedings going on. So we don't know what the truth is. You know, is she making up something, or even our lawyers couldn't hear it. So then when she interrogated us and talked about religion and spent you know, so many hours talking about our ethnicity and religion, which we recorded the entire court proceeding, we knew that she is not caring about the best interest of the child. She's onto something where she's trying to find a reason for herself to concoct and make up a reason what she thinks is justifiable for removing the child, but which actually is discriminating and racist and illegal.
And Line Lunde also said that she asked me straight out there, what will you do if you get the custody of the younger daughter? So I asked her, so what do you mean? We have her at home.
What would you do if you get the custody?
Yeah, what will you do if you get
back the custody?
The custody back of your younger daughter?
But you had the custody.
Yes, that's what I said. What do you mean? She's home.
So she had already decided to take You see?
That's great.
Yeah.
But
And
we
that
have
is
seen.
all recorded.
Yeah, but we have seen in the papers from Lena Lunde's decision that she's clearly using discriminatory words, saying that it's important to take the child into public care because you are religious and ethnicity.
That
so
is racism.
That is racism.
Yeah.
But did you have the feeling that she was, when you were in the board meeting, that she was making prejudice statements? Was that a feeling you...
It was very obvious, and it was so obvious that my husband's lawyer from Eldon, she also said, I have never seen anything like this court proceeding ever in my life.
Yeah.
And she said, I said, do you think we have any chance? She said, I am sorry, I don't think so. I'm just honest, but I'm sorry. So all these things led to us really getting the feeling that it's not gone okay at all, because this judge is... And she also, everybody thought that, you know, the way we were treated was so bad, in the way we were questioned, the way, you know, because this is not the way to treat human beings, ethnicity, religion, you know, it have no relevance to the case whatsoever. So we got a very clear feeling that there is no hope, no justice to be found in Norway at all.
So you actually... You have, if you can try to round this up, we are passing an hour already, but you had a problem, your daughter had a mob problem in her school, the older daughter, and that led to the escalating all the time. The case was dropped by police, but the childcare is still going on, and then they tried to bring your daughter, younger daughter, into this, and at some point you find out we have to leave.
Correct.
And you got new passports from from Finland, and
what about your passport?
They had never taken my passport.
Your passport.
They weren't interested in my passport at all.
Okay. But at some time there, you decided we move. But why did you move to Dubai?
Why not?
You know, I mean, why not Poland or Germany or any place? You have some connection here, or?
I have lived in Dubai. Dubai, I feel, is my home, my second home. My mother is from Finland. I'm born and raised in Finland as well. But I have lived in Dubai. I have had a very successful business. I have lived here with a import-export company, my own company, successful company with a boutique, and I'm a fashion designer. I used to design clothes for members of the royal family here. I have connections here from my family ties and many things, so it's like a home, and some of the best years of my life have been spent here before my marriage, and I've always loved this place. It has been always never ever had any kind of issues living in Dubai. I was single that time when I lived here, and no problems.
So you knew that living in Dubai was a good alternative.
It's the best alternative.
About your children.
Dubai is a family-oriented country, and family is everything in Dubai. The values, the principles, the morals the people have here, that feelings of humanity and all of this love and being as a society, togetherness, coming forward together, doing the best for everyone, doing the right thing, having a conscience, having, you know, that don't do the wrong thing, you know, all of these things you will find in Dubai, you know, everything. Graceful people, hospitable, loving, and I cannot imagine a better place to bring up my children than Dubai, and I'm so blessed that we have this opportunity that we could come here.
Because when this is my first time in Dubai, and what struck me when I come to this city is it's a very modern place. It's organized. It's a lot of things to do for children. There are.
It's a children's paradise. It's a family paradise. You have people coming from all over the world. Billions of travelers all the time, and everybody love it here, and they want to stay. They want to come back. You have everything you can imagine is in Dubai.
Because we had a walk here the other day.
It's
we
a holiday.
We looked around, and there are many things here.
Yes.
That's actually my impression. When you stay in Norway, you hear about the countries in the Gulf area. You mostly hear something negative. But when I come here, I don't find that negativity. I find big areas for children, parks, amusement parks. The place you live here is a quiet place. You have restaurants. You have everything you need very close.
Dubai is like everybody happy in Dubai.
Yeah.
We're happy with the ruler, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed.
Yeah.
What a wonderful, beautiful heart.
Yeah.
He have made Dubai with a vision, and he have made it with a vision for the people.
Yeah.
And everybody who is here, we are so blessed and thankful to Sheikh Mohammed, Sheikh Zayed, and all the rulers who have done this for the people. For us to enjoy, and they love the people, and the people love the rulers. In Norway, the state, the authority, is on one side, and they want to destroy their citizens. It's a complete opposite.
If you can make some comparison, have you been in contact, or do they have childcare system here in Dubai?
Of course.
Have you been in contact with them?
No.
No?
There is no reason for our family to be in contact. But there is a childcare authority. Our daughter goes to school. For instance, you have some people who have a little heart in the school. If a child has something they want to talk, something troubling you, or they go to the person with the heart. They can talk anything. They can tell what they, So, and if there is any reason for concern, the authorities step in immediately. We have in Dubai, the police are fantastic. You have really an amazing police system of integrity, let me tell you. They have integrity. So I'm sorry, with all due respect to Norway, the police that I have been dealing with in Norway, oh my goodness. I would never compare to Dubai. Oh no, because in Norway, your police are just following Barnevernet.
They are puppets for the.
They are puppets for Barnevernet. They are just. They don't care about doing the right thing, to have integrity, because to do integrity is to do your job, to do the right thing. What has been allocated to you as a person to protect the civilians in every way. And when you are breaking their rights and allowing them their rights to be broken with the Barnevernet, what you are doing, you are the same as them. Who can the civilians turn to then? They have no more trust.
If we can you live here now with your youngest daughter. What is her timetable every day? She goes to school here, and does she do something else?
Nowadays, she's, as you see, you've met her, she's having a great time. Her friends just left from, they were visiting from Oslo, her old school friends. They came the third time to Dubai and stayed with us, and they wanted to spend Christmas with us. They planned it a long time, so they had a fantastic time. They went to Ferrari World in Abu Dhabi, took the fastest roller coaster in the whole world, which I cannot do myself.
Did you try it?
No, thank you. And what is it called? The highest loop and all these things, and not once, many times. So they have had a fantastic Christmas. So she's very integrated with her family, friends visiting. And she goes to one of the best schools. It's a British school, private school. She wears a uniform, which she complains about sometimes because she has to tuck her shirt into her skirt. So that's not so fun. But
they use uniform in school here.
Yes, they do. And she has friends. She's doing great in school. She was studying in Norwegian in Norway, but her teacher is so happy about her progress.
She go to an international English school here in Dubai?
Yes, it's a British school.
British school.
Yes.
Well, what does she do after school? She has some activities?
She has friends all over the neighbors. She has friends in school. She goes for gymnastics to the Palm Islands. If you've seen on the internet, we have the Palm Islands.
The Palm, that's the big artificial island they make just outside the coast.
She has gymnastics classes there, and she loves gymnastics. So She is regularly going there. As you see, we have a swimming pool downstairs, so she loves to swim. And she has a dog, a Pomeranian, which you have met. And she loves her dog. She takes care of her dog, goes for walks, does lots of fun things. And basically in Dubai you can do everything. She goes to all the amusement parks, Global Village, goes to the beach, which is right next to our house, as you see. And shopping centers. I mean, just living a very happy, good life, having sunshine and a nice view from our penthouse, which is just great.
When I look out the window here in almost 40th floor, I am the top of the skyscraper, sort of.
But I have a question. If the Norwegian authorities give you the custody back, the legal custody, of course, would it be an option for you to return to Norway, or?
We say it in the court, and we say it now. We will never live in Norway again. Thank you very much. Never ever again. What Norway has done to us, who would want to live in Norway again? I mean, you've got to be crazy to move back to that country. I mean, I'm sorry, with all due respect, why on earth would we live in Norway when there are so many other countries? And you have to have changes in Norway to make people want to stay also, because others are running too. So I think that Linda Helleland and all these authorities really need to buckle up, because this facade which they're putting on, this hypocrisy, it's we can see through it, Miss Linda Helleland now. We can see through your facade. It's not, it's so transparent.
Because as you remember, BBC was in Norway.
Exactly.
They had an interview with Rune and me as well. And this documentary was viewed by millions of viewers around the world. And first, the minister Helleland did not want to comment upon the documentary, but later she did. And then she said that they only remove children when it's absolutely necessary, and that we have the best system in the world. So
she's lying. Linda Helleland, you are lying to the world. Shame on you. As a minister of Norway, you are depicting like a complete lie of your country, and you are being held ansvarlig and responsible for your statement, Linda Helleland, because that's a lie.
There was no reason whatsoever to take our children. No reason whatsoever, and still they were taken.
Because, you know, personally I've never been involved with Barnevernet, but I've of course worked for 10 years now with CPS cases and brought a lot of them to the European Court. And what strikes me, and if you can confirm this theory, is that all the families I've met, either, I say to myself that either they have to be the best actors in the world or actresses in the world, where there must be something truly wrong with the Norwegian system. Because all of these families I have met, I only take on cases where I really feel to myself, this is something really outrageous going on with the system. So I have to say, either I have to be the most naive person in the world, believing in the stories, or the system must have gone.
The only actor is Linda Helleland and the system. They are the ones acting to the whole world and lying through their teeth and saying this is the best system in the world and best interest of the child. Hello, I don't see even one thing that you have done in our case is the best interest of the child, or even according to international law.
But I can extend my question, because Helleland said that to the international media after BBC was in Norway. But that statement was repeated by her lawyer, the government lawyer Francis Sejersted, when he was making his speech before the Grand Chamber of the European Court on 17 October 2018, when he said that Norway has the best system in the world and the international criticism is totally insane. That's what he said to the court. So what's your reaction to that?
Norway's Barnevernets system is completely insane.
I would say that there's no justice whatsoever. Normally you are innocent until proven guilty.
That's true.
But in Norway, when it comes to childcare system, it's the absolutely opposite. You have to prove that you're innocent, otherwise they take your children.
Do you know how many times Norway has been found guilty in the European Court of violating the presumption of innocence? 4 times. and nothing has happened. They just continue to
They
violate.
they don't listen.
They never listen.
I think either the child minister Helleland, either she's lying or she don't know what's going on.
She
That's
knows.
even worse.
She knows. And if she doesn't know, then she shouldn't be the Barnevan minister, you know. The
Both is
Barneminister.
worse anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But I observed from your very eloquent storytelling to Mr. Fadal here that you were using words against from the Barnevernets, saying that they have used false accusations or falsified the accusations. And as you may be aware of, only a few weeks ago, a 72-year-old grandmother was convicted in Norwegian court.
We are aware of that. Shocking.
Does that frighten you a bit that your freedom of speech you can be held accountable of your freedom of speech?
We have clear proof. We have it recorded.
The grandmother said also that she had.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the thing is that Norway is doing a Stalin or what you call Stasi methods of removing children and controlling their citizens. The freedom of speech, removal of children, they're controlling their citizens. And when I compare Norway now to Dubai, Dubai has gone like forward. Like Norway is like a primitive country, I'm sorry to say, compared to Dubai in my eyes, not only because of the buildings and the luxury that we have in Dubai, but in the thinking and the mentality. They are going backwards in Norway, not forwards. When you are going to be treating against the people and not allowing people freedom of speech, freedom of, you know, privacy of your life, of your family life and all of these things, you are a primitive country.
I think Martin Luther King put it well, that it's always the right time to do the right thing. You have to follow your conscience, you have to do what is right.
It's obviously true.
It's like a Stasi method of removing children and controlling.
Maybe your husband's word could sum it all up. It's about time to do the right thing.
It's definitely about time.
But when you see the public servants in Norway, it seems like what we witnessed in the court only a few weeks ago with that 72-year-old grandmother. It seems to me that the public servants are willing to confront their own or to go to war against their own population in a way.
Because it's a mafia system. Everybody in the system is supporting each other. The police, the Barnevernet, the justice system, they're all a mafia system supporting one another and each other's backs. So whenever somebody does something, the police will back them. They won't get. Have you ever heard of a Barnevan person or a judge being, sentenced to jail or to like the 74-year-old grandmother, even though they are doing more serious crimes? No, because they have the backing of the system.
I see
and
from
until that
your
doesn't change.
I see from your documents, and you have tapings that actually prove the childcare from the Barnevern has been lying and producing false document against you in order to try to win. You know, the will to win is obviously stronger than the will to have human rights. There is something seriously wrong.
And the arrogance with which they have met us, the arrogance, I'm so angry inside me that how can you treat people like this? We are human beings. Why don't you want to be empathetic? Why don't you care about people? Why don't you care about people's feelings? There are parents who are committing suicide because of what the Barnevan is doing. There are children they're taking in custody, Glasjenta, who are having so bad, but they don't care. They care about that their money is coming to, they have the jobs. The whole system is being funded and they keep their jobs. They have foster parents making a lot of money, everybody benefiting. It's child trafficking in Norway. You are stealing people's children.
I think we have covered a lot of topics here, but there's one thing I would like to have some comments on, and that is the legal system, especially Borgarting Court of Appeal or Borgarting High Court. Because Borgarting is the court in Norway that has been most times convicted in the European court. If you look upon the statistics, Borgarting is always there almost. And as far as I know, Borgarting Court of Appeal was also in your case. So what was your impression with that particular court? Let's hold to Borgarting Court of Appeal.
We never met those guys. They just, you know, didn't even take up our case.
No. So what did they actually say in your case? Because of obviously, since that court is.
Well, they agreed with the rest of the, you know, everybody else.
They tried to make it like an independent.
You know, Marius, you know, it
case.
starts with the fylkesnemnda, and then that decision ends up in the Høyesterett, in the Supreme Court. Basically, the fylkesnemnda, that is where the trouble starts in Norway. You should abolish fylkesnemnda completely, in my opinion. That's my freedom of speech, Norway. I think you should abolish fylkesnemnda because the trouble is starting. It's not even a court. Most incompetent, evil, mean judges sitting there who have already decided 90% of the cases to remove all the children. And that decision goes along all the way down the line and ends up, you know, maybe in ECHR if the parents, you know, have the strength left in them and if they're still alive to take it there.
But did you feel like Borgarting had independent scrutiny of your case, or did they just endorse?
No, of course not. They just didn't probably even read it.
Exactly.
They just probably threw it in a rubbish. Next. We haven't had anything. Just send it to the next. Take no responsibility whatsoever.
Okay, but we are way over time here, so I think we got the main picture here from this case. We are now in Dubai because of the people working in the Norwegian childcare system, Barnevernet, and these people are they are treating people, at least not in accordance with the human rights law, and it looks like it's just to win. There is something in that system that need children, so the system can go on, and it has been sort of a system for the system case. So, but it strikes me when I come to your family here in Dubai and sit here in your beautiful home, relaxed. No worries that police storming into the house or anything. We have been out looking at the city, all the amusement park, school for children, gymnastics. You have a normal life here with no worries, while in Norway, many hundreds or thousands of families are living in fear for somebody knocking on the door, police storming in uniforms or whatever, and that is a picture I think you who see this program should think about. The Norwegian government, with in this case the Barneminister Helleland, the child minister, is preaching out a message to the world that the Norwegian childcare system is the best in the world. But this case and Silje Garmo case, who just got asylum in Poland, running away from this best system in the world, should make you all think, is the Norwegian government telling you the truth? Or is the people represented by this family telling you what's really going on? Because at least in Norway, they tell you Dubai and the other countries around here is bad business for everything, but when you come here, can I move here?
You know, the Sheikh Mohammed and Dubai say everybody is welcome to Dubai.
Yeah.
Welcome Rune Fardal to Dubai.
But before we wind up, I would like, you know, some members of the European Parliament as well as the European Council will obviously watch this video, and you know that they have raised strong criticism against Norway. So if you have some final words to the members of the European Parliament and the European Council, I think this is the time to make like an appeal, because they obviously see that something is very wrong in Norway as well.
I think the European Parliament should know that there are very, very strong, brave, courageous people, justice fighters like Mr. Rune Fardal and Marius Rekeros, Stephen Bennett, Suranaya Ivar, Björn Koff and Christian Post and so many others I can name and thank from bottom of our hearts today for all the support that we have gotten from you all. Without you, we wouldn't be able to address this injustice which is going on and breaking of human rights in Norway. And I also want to take the opportunity to say that the reason why European Parliament does not hear more is because Norway, as you hear, is a Stasi methods of controlling their citizens, are also controlling the media. And the media is not allowed in Norway to really bring out all these thousands of cases, not one or two, believe me, there are thousands of them who don't have the capacity or the means to bring forward their things. And not only Barnevern, look at what happened now, Tolga-saken, look at this, look at so many things. This system and the way the Norway is treating their people is shameful. And media now, when they uncover, then the state says, okay, we'll look into this and look into that, you know, but they really are a nasty state who are not caring about their own people, and they need to start doing that. And because of that, the European Parliament have not heard really what's happening on in Norway, and they would hear much more. You have BBC who comes from England to hear about it, but Norway itself is quiet. Hello, you know, this is not the freedom of speech. So the 74-year-old grandmother get charged for freedom of speech, and media is scared also to come out because they don't want to go to jail for telling the truth. So I think I'm so impressed by the 74-year-old grandmother. Really, really amazing lady. I'm so proud of her.
Okay, we leave that as a last message for the European Parliament and for the Norwegian people in itself too. And as the husband here said, maybe it's about time to rethink something in Norway. So with that, I say goodbye for us here in Dubai. I can recommend anybody who want to visit this part of the world that Dubai is a peaceful place and there is very nice to live here. So with that, we say thank you, and we will soon be back with another program.